Coming home to your feminine energy is akin to stepping through the front door of your soul after a busy, noisy journey. It marks the moment you put down the heavy bags of doing and achieving to embrace the peaceful simplicity of being. This isn't a goal to earn or a prize to gain. It's a gentle re-entry into the calm, steady rhythm that has been within you all along. In a world that often demands we be loud, fast, and unyielding, feminine energy is the sacred permission to slow down. It is the courage to listen to the whispers of your heart rather than the shouts of the crowd. This energy doesn't care about the reflection in the mirror or the label society places upon you. Instead, it lives in the way you breathe through a difficult moment, the way you offer a hand to a friend, and the way you allow yourself to be moved by a sunset or a kind word. Imagine this energy as a warm, golden glow emanating from your core. It represents your nurturing spirit, the aspect of you that heals wounds with a smile and connects people through conversation. It also embodies your creativity, flowing freely like a river that knows its own direction. When you access this energy, you're not merely surviving, you're thriving. This allows you to see the small miracles that often go unnoticed by others. The way the air feels against your skin, the hidden needs of a loved one, the sudden clear spark of your own intuition. We frequently hear that vulnerability is risky, but your feminine energy reveals that it is actually your strongest defense. Showing softness in a tough world is a remarkable act of courage. It requires a deep form of power to stay open, to feel intensely romanticality, and to lead with kindness. This is not fragility, it mirrors the strength of the ocean, moving effortlessly without fighting the rocks, simply flowing until the terrain shifts. Living in this energy means trusting yourself fully. It involves recognizing that your gut feeling is a divine guide and that your empathy is a superpower. You don't need to shout or compete to show your worth. Like a flower that quietly blooms without trying to outshine others, you develop naturally. You are inherently whole and sufficient. There's no need to change yourself. Just breathe out, release the urge to be more, and let your true light shine. Moving with grace and speaking honestly not only transforms your identity, but also fosters a sense of peaceful calm in those nearby. Breathe deeply. Trust your spirit and let yourself bloom. Were like children, not bad children, bright ones, wild ones, the kind with too much lightning in their bones and nowhere sensible to put it. Leave them alone too long and they would find something to do. They would peel paint from the table, pick at loose skin, scratch at the body's quiet corners, tear tissues into snow, tap, twist, bite, pull, press, anything to break the boredom of being alive without direction. The mind, the poor, tired parent often let them run. It was busy surviving, explaining, busy carrying 1,000 invisible bags through rooms where nobody noticed the weight. So the hands became unruly. They reached for cigarettes because fire gave them something to hold. They reached for glasses because sorrow looked calmer when it had a stem. They reached for wounds because pain always answered quicker than purpose. And the mind would look down afterwards and sigh, "What have you done now?" But the hands were not trying to cause trouble. They were bored with silence. They were gifted and unstimulated, powerful and unguided, full of art with no art lesson, music with no instrument. So they made mess. That is what untaught potential does. It spills, grabs, breaks the good plates of peace because nobody has shown it how to set the table. Then one day, the parent within stopped scolding. Instead of slapping the hands away from the old hurt, the mind came closer and said, "Come on then, show me what you need." The hands hesitated. They were used to being blamed, not invited. So the parent gave them a pen. At first they scribbled, of course they did. Children do not become wise because you hand them a page. They press too hard, they tear through the paper and draw storms where you ask for flowers. They smudge the truth and leave fingerprints everywhere. But still, they were creating. So the parent gave them paint. The hands made chaos in color. They played. They squeezed grief until it had a shape, then music. They stumbled over notes, but the body softened as they played. Little by little, the hands learned that feeling did not have to arrive as damaged. Feeling could arrive as rhythm, as texture, as ink, as chord, as something made instead of something taken apart. The parent kept watching, kept guiding, not with punishment, but with presence. Not there, little hands here, not the wound, the page, not the skin, the string, not the cigarette, the brush, again and again until guidance became memory. Until memory became instinct. Then one day, the ache returned wearing its old coat, and the hands reached before the mind could stop them. But this time, they reached for the notebook. The parent inside went still. No shouting, no panic, no aftermath. Just the soft astonishment of seeing a once wild child choose wisely when nobody was holding the reins. The hands had grown. They no longer needed chaos to feel alive. They had learned how to turn restlessness into language, boredom into beauty, ache into offering. And the peace they created did not stay in the fingers. It traveled upward, through wrist, arm, shoulder, throat, into the chest, into the parent who had waited so long to feel safe inside their own body. And for the first time, the mind did not look down and ask, "What have you done now?" It looked at the hands, covered in ink, steady with purpose, and whispered, "Look what you've become."
Sadness is an authentic and significant part of being human, not something to conceal or be ashamed of. Experiencing sadness does not signify weakness or being overly emotional. Instead, it demonstrates a heart capable of deep feelings and a truthful acknowledgement of pain, an act that takes genuine courage. Whenever sadness arises, it is a signal from your soul. You might be hurting because something important is absent from your life, such as love, understanding, or support. An old wound may have reopened, or someone's words or actions could have made you feel insignificant or overlooked. You could also be mourning someone who has passed away, and the burden of that grief might seem almost too heavy to bear. Each tear and ache in your chest acts as a message. These feelings are not errors. Instead, they are signals from your inner self showing that something matters. When you take time to listen, you allow yourself the opportunity to heal. This process helps you understand who you are, what you need, and what truly matters to you. Sadness serves a purpose by revealing how much you care. It links you to your love, values, and deepest hopes. It reminds you that you're alive and capable of feeling deeply, even in difficult times. In this way, sadness can be a valuable teacher, helping you grow, reflect, and move forward with greater self-awareness. Don't suppress your sadness. Allow it to stay with you. Sit quietly and permit yourself to feel the emotions. There's strength in keeping your heart open even when it causes pain. It's also powerful to acknowledge this matters to me and to give yourself space to grieve, reflect, and breathe. You're not alone in feeling this way. Everyone experiences sadness at times. It unites us all, and by sharing your feelings, you encourage others to do the same. You foster a space for honesty, connection, and love. Over time, sadness can lead to new beginnings. It uncovers what needs to change, things that disrupt your peace, and guides you toward what benefits you. It might show where to set boundaries, which paths to abandon, and which dreams to chase more passionately. Be gentle with yourself. Allow your sadness to come and go like ocean waves. There's no rush to feel better. Trust that each act of kindness toward yourself gradually fosters healing. Remember that your sadness is not a defect. It acts as a reminder that you care, feel intensely, and are truly alive. Treat it with compassion, move through it patiently, and let it teach, shape, and direct you toward the soft light waiting on the other side.
I'm slowly understanding that peace comes not from trying to be understood, but from understanding myself. Reacting won't make others see my value, and long explanations won't make someone care. Often, the most powerful thing I can do is simply let go. Let people go and accept unresolved conversations. Allow silence to speak what words cannot. I no longer pursue answers or hold on to those who have emotionally moved on. I'm learning to sit with discomfort without feeling compelled to fix it. I recognize what I feel, but I don't let it drag me into exhausting battles. Not every wound needs to be witnessed by someone, and not every story demands a conclusion. Life feels simple when I stop trying to control external circumstances and instead focus on my inner self, my thoughts, my breath, my peace. Each time I reconnect with my authentic self, I respond less to things that previously upset me. In that tranquility, I realize there's more than just being correct. I experience genuine freedom. This is the gentle process of healing, opting for peace instead of proving a point, favoring silence over conflict, and focusing on growth rather than grasping. With each cautious step inward, I realize that not everything requires a response. Sometimes, all it takes is to let go.